Time is running out for SAG-AFTRA to make a deal. If the union and the studios can't reach an agreement by midnight tonight, actors could be joining Hollywood writers on the picket lines. Joining us now with a look at the impact is Variety Chief Correspondent Elizabeth Wagmeister. Elizabeth, always good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So let's talk about the demands. What are they asking for and how likely is a strike? Because we see these tactics used a lot, right? The threat of a strike until the very last minute and then they finally come to an agreement.
Well, at this point, a strike is very likely. The other side, the studio side, the AMPTP, is trying to do everything they can to avoid a strike because it would effectively shut down all production in Hollywood. But last week, I have to tell you, I was on the picket lines reporting, covering the writer's strike, and there were some SAG-AFTRA members who I spoke to, and they said, we are 150% prepared to strike. And that has been the general feeling throughout the industry, that it seems like it's imminent. There is not much coming to a resolution in that negotiating room. So we will see, because as I said, the other side is really trying to do everything that they can to stop this from happening. Yesterday at Variety, we even exclusively broke that the studio side is looking into bringing a federal mediator into the mix to hope to have some sort of resolution. But as for what the actors are asking for, first of all, they are asking for some protection with AI. This is a big factor, artificial intelligence. They don't want that to take over their job. They're also asking for an increase in minimums. Of course, the cost of living has gone up and they want to see that reflected in their minimum paychecks. And the other thing that this is similar to what we're hearing from the writers as well is they want some clarity on streaming residuals. Of course, the business is so different than years ago where there was a residual strategy that was really baked into this broadcast network model, but with streaming, we're not seeing that. So those are the three main components that they are asking for.
Thank you for breaking that down for us. Hollywood already, of course, crippled by the WGA strike. So what would it mean if the actors also walk off the job? What would it mean for award shows, for press tours, even for events like Comic-Con?
It means that essentially none of that can happen. As I had said, really Hollywood would effectively shut down. Now, to put this into perspective, the last time that there has been a double strike, meaning both the writers and the actors are on strike, was in 1960. This is essentially unheard of, certainly in the modern era, and this would be detrimental to the business. That's why the studio side is really trying to stop this from happening. But of course, the actors, they're saying, we want to be paid fairly, we want to be treated fairly. But of course, there is also the discussion of, does this help or does this hurt? Working actors, if they're on strike, of course, they're not making any money. So these are all of the discussions that are coming from both sides. But all these things that you just mentioned, award shows, Comic-Con, one of the components of an actor's strike means that actors cannot do press. Actors can't talk to media. In fact, this week, another exclusive that we broke at Variety was that SAG-AFTRA leaders had a conference call with major Hollywood publicists, basically explaining to them the rules for what their clients may or may not be able to do.
So let's talk about more the WGA strike. It's all getting kind of convoluted here. Do you think a SAG-AFTRA strike would help the writers and the studios reach a deal, or do you think it would make it more difficult?
There is a possibility, and there is a school of thought, that if the actors go on strike, that could actually expedite all of this, because now that we would be in a dire situation where all of production is shut down, where effectively right now most of it is shut down, that could of course cause everybody to scramble and say, this is a bad situation. Now nobody is working, nobody's getting paid, nobody on the other side is making money. So that school of thought shows that perhaps this actually could be a good thing because there could be a quick resolution. But on the other hand, if there's not a quick resolution, of course, this really would be detrimental because nobody would be working. But if you talk to the writers and the actors, they would say, we would rather have this moment of not working to be able to pave the way forward and to be able to set ourselves up to be protected for the future. If we don't do it now, we're never going to get it.
Well, Elizabeth, thank you so much. You always have such a strong command of what's happening in Hollywood.